Hey guys, November 29th, the Front Range got the first snow of the year today. So I decided I was gonna come out and hang out in the National Forest. Come join me. I'm gonna do some hiking, eat lunch by a campfire, some good R&R, and I'm gonna test out my new jacket. It's gonna be pretty warm, and it's also gonna be pretty cold. So I went quite a way up the road. It was really solid. I mean, it was snow-packed as soon as I got off pavement, for the most part. But as I started to get, into the higher country, I was seeing pretty consistent, like 2 to 3 inches of snow on the road, no big deal. But once I got up where it's more exposed, I started getting into the point where the road was drifts. I do have new tires on the Subi, but the drifts are like 10 or so inches deep. I started to get to the point where I was having to run on momentum rather than traction, and that's never a good place to be. So unfortunately I did have to turn around before I could get to the trailhead. So I did get out of the car, kind of, check out the conditions a couple times, make sure the car is doing okay. It's like freezing cold outside. I'll give you an actual number here in a little bit, but I'm gonna just go for a little bit more of a mild hike today than I had expected. But that's totally okay. I'm over prepared, so not a problem. I'll check in on the trail. It's pretty nice out here on the trail. Check the temperature here. It says it's like 25. It definitely feels colder than that in the wind. First thing I did was throw on the giant jacket, which is definitely doing a good job, I must say. I decided against the backpack. I'll just go back to the car for lunch. I was thinking about eating out here, but I don't want to deal with all that in the snow. Threw on the snowshoes, grabbed the trekking poles. The snowshoes are definitely overkill. I could totally hike this without them. Pretty. Having fun. Pretty nice spot. I'm ditching the snowshoes. I'll come back for them later. They are pretty nice, but there's not that much snow. I'm not going that far, and I'm a lot faster without them.
Nice and warm from hiking. It's like one of my favorite things is when it's like cold and windy, but the sun is really strong on you. It's like 20 degrees out and it's just, oh, the sun is so nice. Well, now I know why this jacket came with a stuff sack. It's so you can drop all your layers and put it in the stuff sack. I thought I'd try out this jacket today. I figured it's the first like cold day of the year. 20 degrees is hot for this jacket. It's a pretty warm jacket. Anyway, this is really nice out here. I am digging it. I love it. There's nothing to do but just be here. I'm a human existing in the world. I'm just existing right now. It's great. No complaints. So nice. Okie doke, I'm gonna go get lunch at the car. I do realize that I could have put the big jacket in this bag and worn all the little stuff, and that's technically the right way to do this, but it's a lot more comfortable to wear this jacket open and just not sweat that way and carry this over my shoulder than it is to do the reverse. This is lighter than this, so I do know. All right, gloves, hat, and a t-shirt and snow pants. About 20 degrees and I don't know, 5 to 10 mile an hour wind. This is a new one for me. I suppose it's better to be over prepared than under prepared. Still having a good time. That's what matters. I kind of thought it would be colder. Didn't expect I'd have to drop all my layers. It's always incredible to me how much of a difference the sun makes. I'm in the trees now, and I'm kind of hat on, hat off, gloves off, jacket on. And I'm very comfortable. In the sun, I'm baking. Even with just like hat and gloves. It's my pace that kills me more than anything, I think. You gotta keep the pace slow enough that I don't sweat. So I made it back to the car. I think I'm gonna go find like a nice campsite or something with like a bench or a log or something to sit on and have lunch. That was a good little hike though. This is a pretty good time to show you how the roads are up here. I mean, totally snowpacked. Probably only like 4 inches, so it's like totally manageable down here. But when it gets to be like 2 to 3 times this much, frankly, the Subaru doesn't have the clearance or the tire size to get traction. So, yeah, I'd be fine with it if it was like 4 or 6 inches the whole way. But like I said, 10, 12 inches, it just gets to be too much. Anyway, I think I'm coming up on that campsite here. Yeah, the rock ridge is just across from it. That's what it is. So it should be coming up. Yeah, that's the little rock ridge right up there. Yep, here it is. All right, I'm all set up. Man, this is a cold campsite. Cold. Down here in this river basin, it's just brr. Granted, I am not hiking around like I was, but man, it's out of the sun all the time down here. We were camping down here and it was just like freezing the whole time. I think the sun came out like, I don't know, like 3 in the afternoon, and you can see where the sun shines through the trees right there. You don't get sun until it's like over here, and then it goes behind these trees, and then it's gone. That's it. That's the whole sun you get all day. Other than that, you're in the shadow of these trees, and it's freezing here. So yeah, this is where we camped last time. So bitter, brutal cold in the winter at this site. But in the summer, there should be shade like most of the day. So that's cool. Granted, the sun will be more overhead, so there will be less shade than there is now. But still, there should be considerable shade all day. Anyway, I got my pickle bucket from Firehouse. It's got the jet boil and an extra puffy jacket in there, and some water and oatmeal. And I'm going to show you a trick with that puffy jacket if you don't have one of those little Mylar food insulator things for cold weather. And I'm going to have lunch in a fire because there's a nice little pond here, but I don't know how thick this ice is, but I'm going to need some water to make sure the fire is dead out, even though there is a fair amount of snow. Just use the water to make sure it's dead out. But let's find out how deep this ice is. There's a log in the pond. The ice is pretty deep. There it is. All right, let's see how deep it is. Ooh, it's pretty deep. Cool. I'm gonna host a little fire making 101 video. Some of you know how to do it, some of you don't. I'm gonna show you how I do it. So everything is frozen, everything is covered in snow, including the fire pit. So we'll clear that out and I'll build it from the base up. I wanna show you guys how to do this if all you have is a lighter, because it's very doable. All right, let's find ourselves some firewood. Little dead branches. We'll just start with a ton of them. So here's my base for my fire. I trenched it out with the back of the axe here, but you could use a stick if you don't have an axe. So I just trenched it out this way. You can see nice big opening under there. And then these were the ones that were just in there. I just put them across. There is snow kind of all over them. I just need something to hold up my fire and to give it air from underneath. So there are things on the ground here. You know, the deeper the snow is, the harder they're going to be to find. But stuff like this, you know, as long as you pick it up and it's not just like totally soaking wet, it's fine. When you're breaking these off, you want to be careful. Sometimes they will have quite a bit of bend to them, and they can have snapback. And these edges, these points are, I mean, they're sharp. You see that? So you don't want that flinging back and getting in your eye. So just be careful, and sometimes maybe you got to look away when you pop them off. But that's a great piece. You know, 5 or 6 more of those and I think I'll be good.
No problem. We got a pretty good pile of sticks here. We're just gonna start processing it down. You just want a bunch of little tiny sticks on the bottom, like matchstick size, something you can light up with a lighter. I'll put like a log or something like this a little bit bigger on one side, kind of make a lean-to, or like an A-frame tent, something that I can kind of get my hand in there and get the lighter all the way to the bottom of this. And you know, it's messy, but that's okay. These little pieces of bark, if you got a couple branches that got real loose bark on them, this is great too. And put that right up in there, and that'll catch fire like a piece of paper. So once you got a good little pile of sticks, anything from twigs to like the size of a little chicken bone, something like that, you know, anything but a metric unit, you just go ahead and give it a good push down. Maybe shake it a little bit, keep it nice and aerated. And then it's onto the finger size stick. Once you start getting the finger size pieces on there, it starts really looking like it's going to be a fire. You get a pretty good base up here. And then once it starts getting a little tall, you can start putting things across it. You see they're kind of going down into the ground and coming up across. So you start getting into sticks, you know, a foot or two long. One of the nice things about fire making is it warms you up even before there is a fire. You know, I was cold when I first got out of the car. I had my big, huge puffy jacket on. Now I'm in a little microgrid hoodie and one layer underneath it. You know, I'm not freezing like I was. If I sit here for a while, I will be. But getting together all this firewood made me warm. I've got my fire ready. I've got my big logs over there. I've got my medium-sized logs here. You can see the classic teepee. And then I leave an opening to get my hand in there. So this video is assuming you have a lighter. If you want to do a flint steel, that's a little bit more involved. You'd use a knife and make little tiny shavings, just a whole bunch of them, to get basically the flame that you would get from a lighter. So I couldn't do it with the camera, but I just stuck my finger all the way down in the bottom there, made a little bit of room, and just caught a couple of twigs on fire. So the fire is growing. It's a little bit toward the front right now, so it's big enough now. I'm not too worried about it. I'm just going to shift everything forward a little bit, give it some more to eat. Here we are, maybe 2 minutes later. 2-3 minutes later. We got a fire. It's kind of burning up all the little tiny sticks down in there. It's starting to catch these bigger ones on fire. So what I want to do occasionally is just shake it and help it settle. What that does is it doesn't create a hollow spot in the bottom of the fire down there, because it's going to burn up all that little stuff fast, and then it's just going to be, the base of the fire is going to be gone. You want to help it settle as it gets these bigger logs, so you can keep coals in the bottom of the fire. We're going to start throwing some of these little bit bigger logs on now that these finger size ones are catching. And that's how you get good coals on the fire. We got a nice fire here. Right on. Look at that. That is nice. It's making my axe handle hot here. I better move that. Woohoo! It'll die down in a minute. I wish I had a little pot. I could cook my oatmeal on the fire, but I packed to hike, not to camp, so jet boil it is. Give that fire a little pat. There we go. See how it just all moves down. There we go. Nice. Beautiful. I did promise a hack with the jacket. I think I forgot a spoon to eat this with, so this should be interesting. I guess I'll stir it up with the stick. Seal it up. They make little mylar things to keep these warm, So, you know, if you're sitting in the snow, it's not gonna stay warm long, obviously. But I found what you can do. If you got an extra puffy around, just cover it on up with your puffy. But yeah, 10 minutes and that'll be ready and warm. You know, if I leave it out here in the snow, that's gonna be a cold lunch. So yeah, that's the little jacket hack. That's about it for that campsite. Just dumped 10 gallons of water on the fire, so that won't be an issue. Ice in the fire pit's always pretty reassuring. Almost 4. Go home, get some dinner. Pretty cool day. Got to enjoy a fire today. I wasn't expecting that. That was pretty cool. That was pretty cool. All things considered, pretty nice day. I wish I could spend the night, but they didn't bring anything to do it. And honestly, I'm waiting for my new sleeping bag in the mail. We'll see. We'll see if I can do that here maybe in the next month or two. When the snow gets a little bit deeper, this road will become less and less accessible, but I'll still be able to get up here to some extent, I'm sure.